call the authority. Yeah. Meeting's going on.
We're live. We're live now.
Now we're live.
Trustee Virgo.
Here.
Trustee Gray. Here. Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Lazio.
Here.
Trustee Lamanian.
Present.
Trustee Pandolfi.
My name.
Yeah, here. I think Gordon said here also.
Trustee Cook.
I'm here. You're skipping out when you say my name, but I'm here. Yes.
Trustee Step.
Here.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Weezy.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Wyckoff. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. For those who wish to join, Michael will lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since we're time of year that we're in, we're approaching Memorial Day. And I did some research on books because that's what we're about, books. And I have a question. Does anybody know what the #1 selling book of all time is? I got a different answer.
The
He's right.
Bible.
Bible, yes. And 5 to 7 billion copies. And I just thought that was really interesting. And so foundation, when we talked about foundations before, but foundation, the Bible holds foundation for really all of life and all of everything. And so in doing some other research, I pulled out some quotes from past presidents and their regard for the Bible. And so I want to share a few of those with us today. And I have a few favorites. So a couple from George Washington. It is impossible to rightly govern a nation without God and the Bible. And so I just love that quote. The next quote is, the propitious smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of order and right, which heaven itself has ordained. George Washington. John Adams, there's a couple of significant quotes from John. We recognize no sovereign but God and no king but Jesus. I consider a decent respect for Christianity among the best recommendations for public service. Thomas Jefferson, the reason that Christianity is the best friend of government is because it is the only religion that changes the heart. John Quincy Adams, the Bible is the first and almost the only book deserving of universal attention. He went on to say, my custom is to read 4 or 5 chapters of the Bible every morning immediately after rising. It seems to be the most suitable manner of beginning the day. It is an invaluable and inexhaustible mine of knowledge and virtue. Andrew Jackson, finally, it is my most fervent prayer that that almighty being before whom I now stand and who has kept us in his hands from the infancy of our republic until the present day, that he will so overrule all of my intentions and actions and inspire the hearts of my fellow citizens that we may be preserved from dangers of all kinds and continue forever a united and happy people. And end up with a couple from Abraham Lincoln and one from Ronald Reagan. I am profitably engaged in reading the Bible. This is Abraham Lincoln. Take all of this book upon reason that you can, and the balance by faith, and you will live and die a better man. And Ronald Reagan, with two quotes. One of the many influences that have shaped the United States into a distinctive nation of people, none may be said to be more fundamental and enduring than the Bible. And his last one is, if we ever forget that we are one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under. So if you'd like to join me in prayer, Father, we just come before you and recognize that your word is powerful, it's alive. And the book that contains all of your words is the same. And so, Lord, thank you for giving us that book. Father, in my own heart, I strive and endeavor to read that book every day, among other books, but that's the first one. And so, Lord, we thank you for this gathering. Thank you for all your servants here. And Father, we ask you to look over this gathering today, and we thank you for it. In the precious name of the Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Michael. For our reflection, now we are obviously a couple weeks off, but we celebrated Mother's Day, and the reason I had a couple of quotes, some are obviously pretty silly, but still do have a point, is that I think whenever I go to the library, and it's an activity for the kids, of course, sometimes you see dads and older siblings and nannies and neighbors and babysitters, but invariably you see the moms bringing the kids to their first source of literacy and a continuation of the spark that literacy brings to life these kids. But the first I think really hits it. Life doesn't come with a manual; it comes with a mother. And of course, we see that all the time. But in the context of what we gather now, you look at the kids reading, and the support that these kids get from their moms is absolutely just beyond words. Okay, roll call, please. I move that we approve the agenda. May we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Tracy, call the roll, please.
Trustee Burko,
Here.
Cook. Trustee Gregg,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Fazio,
Here.
Trustee Pandolfi,
Aye.
Trustee Cook,
Okay, yes.
Onion,
Yes.
Trustee Cook.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Trustee
Step, yes.
Trustee Davis,
Yes.
Trustee Weezy,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Wykoff. Motion carries.
Thank you. I move the approval of consent agenda to a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Teresa.
Trustee Burko,
Yes.
Trustee Cook, Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Fazio,
Yes.
the Munyon,
Yes.
sorry, Dr. Pandolfi,
Aye.
Trustee Stapp,
Aye.
trustee Venus,
Yes.
trustee Weezy,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Cook, Cody, is trustee Cook still on the line?
Yes, he is.
The motion
Yes.
carries. Motion carries. Yes. Thank you. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Visitor comments, Dr. Purdom? Okay. Awards recognitions?
Yes, so today's a special day because we're honoring the work of Brian Gash, our Chief Technology Officer. So Brian's been with us. What's that?
I get to put my own slide up.
Oh, yeah.
What am I doing?
Come down.
You could message him on Facebook.
Oh, where do I start? Well, here, start with my words. Our unassuming but brilliant CTO, Brian Gash, and his team are the wizards behind the curtain, magically updating our technology while the rest of us sit back and enjoy the show. So it's his creativity and commitment to our evolution as an organization that deserve the highest praise. So I mean that, and we're appreciative of the work you do. So a little bit about Brian. I took over managing the IT department in 2013. And he's continued to improve our library service and technology. He started at 17 at the Excelsior branch. Excelsior Springs branch in its former location has held 5 positions over his career. He's always enjoyed working with technology. He supported some of the largest technological transitions, including the invention of electricity, moving from card catalogs to a digital library system, and providing internet access to customers for the
Thank
first
you
time.
so much for doing such a superb job.
The electricity is a joke, obviously, but to be around for the transition from card catalog to an automated system is truly amazing. And for those of us who were around for it, we know that it was no easy task. So thank you for all that you've done. And lastly, Brian believes that libraries will continue to provide people with help and information to make informed decisions in their lives, even as collections and tools change. So Brian, thank you so much for all that you've done. We hope you stick with us a little bit longer. We have this card.
I don't know if I got another 40 years in.
For some reason.
Well, here anyway.
Yeah, yeah, but you get this snazzy.
Nice.
It's nice there,
I
yeah.
like it.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna try not to drop.
And here's a card.
Thank you.
All right.
Very much. Thanks,
So let's
I
give
appreciate
a.
it. I'm just going down the line. I'm just gonna do everybody now.
Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you very much. I've had a lot of really smart people around me, and I'm very fortunate to have all the people that I've worked with. So that's why I'm where I'm at. So, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. So,
Absolutely.
yep.
What's wrong with card catalogs? That's a whole other.
Yeah, we can get into it. But yeah, so that is our big highlight for the day. What's next?
Jeremy. Jerry, you're.
Yep. You want to go ahead and flip to the next one, the one after that, please. Yep. So this is our listing of property taxes. The library has collected 64.86 million in tax revenue for the first 10 months of this fiscal year. That's compared to 61.14 million for the same time period in the last fiscal year. We've collected just over 100% of our budget. That's just slightly higher than where we were a year ago at 99.76% of our budget collected. Excuse me, moving on to the next slide. This is a new slide that I introduced just to sort of help us track cash month by month. So what you see on this slide here are the last two completed fiscal years. And then the green line is the current fiscal year with a projection for the final 2 months in yellow. So our cash at the end of April was 26.42 million. And we believe, based on our projected expenditures and revenues for the final 2 months, that we will end the year with cash around 17.17 million. And last year, that cash balance at the end of the year was 24.8 million. So we have about a $7.6 million reduction in cash over the prior fiscal year. Moving on to the next slide. This is the general fund. The general fund has collected $60.54 million.
It's
That's-
natural for the flowers. It's natural.
Dr. Wilson, will you, I think you are not on mute.
Sorry about that. We've collected $60.54 million, which is
I'm sorry?
100.67% of our budget. Our expenditures so far year to date are 55.8 million roughly, including our transfer out to the capital fund, which is 95% of our expenditures. And so we have an operating surplus at this point in the year of $4.7 million. Moving on to the next slide. This is the capital fund, and we have revenues and transfers in of 10.19 million, just slightly over our projected budget of 101.212%, excuse me. Expenditures of 11.9 million, which are about 71% of our budgeted expenditures, leaving an operating deficit for the year of 1.7. And the last fund we want to highlight is our internal service fund that pays for health insurance. The fund has collected $3.67 million, about 81% of the budget. Expenditures are just over $4 million at just under 85% of the budget. So we have a current operating deficit for the year to date of $333,000. Those are all of the highlights. I'd be happy to answer any questions you all have.
Any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. To our committee reports, Finance and Audit Committee.
Cody. Your cook's still on the line.
Yes, he is.
This is his report.
Trustee,
Off mute, but
we heard you for just a second there.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, well, the good thing is this is short. Finance did not meet, so there's nothing to report, and we will have our next meeting in June. And that's the report.
Okay, Personnel Committee.
Personnel Committee did meet, and we went over the budget, to, advance the staff recommended budget to the full, which will be part of the presentation today.
Any questions? Building Committee.
Thank you. The building committee, when we last met, I think summary has been before this body also. In terms of the maintenance, the building maintenance plan that by our consultants was recommended to touch 24 facilities through the 35, 36 fiscal year. And that aggregate when that period of time comes to its end, it's a little over $29 million for a maintenance plan for 24 of our facilities. which also I think means that within that 12-year period, there'll be some additional expenditures for other facilities. But regardless, that's the summary of the plan that presented to us by our consultants. We will not be meeting this Thursday. So that's just what I wanted to mention to my colleagues.
Any questions?
Here we have some pictures of East Independence and Riverside that are nearly complete, putting the finishing touches on both branches. Things are coming along. Yeah, I think they're both beautiful. And staff has worked very hard to stock shelves. Looking forward to opening. June 7th for East Independence, and June 14th for Riverside.
Okay, any other comments? Technology Committee?
This is Lori. I just wanted to tell you that the technology committee did meet. We did discuss the budget and have are prepared for our next meeting. And so I think we're in a good place.
Any questions? Okay, fundraising development.
Marcy Gregg. The fundraising committee did not meet, but I do have some information to update you with, courtesy of Diana Blair. The Missouri State Library awarded our technology ladder grant application to replace 38 access points through the library system. The grant amounted to $26,315. The library received also a grant from the Dollar General Literacy Foundation for $3,000 to help purchase Forever books, and those will be distributed with the Reading Rocket team. Well, you saw the Rocket website. There will be some preview tours of East Independence and Riverside branches, May 23rd, Thursday, and also May 29th. And I'm sure she can get you the times of those. Library lovers should be aware of that. Library lovers partnered with the Story Center and Rainy Day Books for the Spring Social on May 7th. And we featured author Janet Gessling, that was pretty good, Charles. So it was a successful event. And just lastly, we don't yet have a date set for the Legacy Luncheon. And that will likely happen later this summer, early fall. So to accommodate some staffing issues. So that's the update from that department. Thank you, Diana, for providing all that information to me. I appreciate you.
Okay, any questions? Just want to comment that the gathering at Whitney's with the author was absolutely just another amazing event. Yeah. So well done and much appreciation. Thank you. Okay, the library's report.
Okay, thank you. There's been some movement with our staff, and I have some bittersweet news. And the reason why it's bitter is because 3 of our wonderful employees have moved on to better opportunities, and 2 of them have been promoted. So they'll be leaving their current locations. I just want to take a minute to acknowledge these people for what they've done for us. Jackie Singsby was the South Independence branch manager, and she got a job as a deputy director at Leavenworth Public Library. And so we're happy for her and wish her the best. Naftali Ferris was our loan jack manager, and she did present before the board, did a wonderful job there. And she's becoming the deputy director for the Kansas City Art Institute. That's an exciting thing for her. Lee Hollenberg was a great manager, or is a great manager, but he served us at the Eastleigh Summit branch, and he is now the deputy director at Cass County Public Library. And then we have 2 internal shifts, which are great. So we have Lindy Wathan, the Parkville branch manager, and she's been promoted to the manager of reading initiatives here at headquarters. So we're happy to bring Lindy into the headquarters family. And then Sam Begley May, the branch manager at Granville, has been promoted to our outreach and community engagement manager. If you remember, Sam was featured on which channel? 4? Yeah. For their great work that they do with the community and in partnership with law enforcement. So we'll be welcoming Sam to our team later next month. A few mentions here in MCPL Monthlies. You see this beautiful sculpture we have. It's placed at North Oak Ranch. The artists' names are Danny Romy and Laura King. The piece itself is titled Once Upon a City, and it celebrates friendship, imagination, uniting people, and sharing adventures. We think that this book-themed heart is perfect for the library, and so we're happy to host it at North Oak. A few other things I wanted to mention. Parkville, they were reached out to by student council, and they wanted our staff to come and provide information on registering their outgoing seniors on how to vote. And so we went and did our part and shared information with the seniors. Hopefully they'll register to vote in this next upcoming election. Last night, I had the pleasure of going to the Raytown branch to see the Kansas City Symphony mobile music box. And I'm always just taken aback when I see the turnout for this sort of thing. So here I am in Raytown, it's about 85 degrees. And families and children from all walks of life are showing up with their chairs. Did not get the memo about bringing your own chair. So they're all sitting, having a wonderful time, listening to this beautiful music in the parking lot as the sunset. And there I am, this stiff, standing behind everybody in my slacks and button-down shirt. But nonetheless, it was beautiful, and we truly do value the partnership with the symphony. They're great. And then lastly, you see in the news, there's a lot of interest in types of books that children are reading, and the types of books that we provide our patrons with. So these next few items will shed some light on that issue in case you were wondering, and I think they really demonstrate our day-to-day here in the public library. So on Google Business, we received a remark from Julia at the Lee Summit branch. She tells this wonderful story about her son going in and using our magnetic wall to make some designs, and he calls the librarian over and asks for some help, and they find books on trains. So that's one. So train books are hot at Lee Summit. But in case you're wondering what's really hot, we print out what's the highest ranking both juvenile fiction in print and ebooks. And so in print, it's Woohoo, You're Doing Great, about an exuberant chicken. And the cover is just magnificent. And then in ebooks, first, second, and third space are all about Dogman Mothering Tights, Dogman Unleashed. I do bring this up for a reason, because it's easy to get distracted by some stories, but really, this is what children are interested in. These are the types of materials that we're giving to parents and interested young people. So that concludes my remarks. I hope you all kind of dig into the MCPL monthly. There's a lot of other great things happened in this past month. And thank you again to the staff that made it all possible.
Just to comment on what Aaron had mentioned, what Sam did at her branch was, to me, was absolutely amazing. First of all, it was at some unforgivable early time of the day, but she was there totally vibrant and welcoming. And the program she was talking about was the having the Grandview police officers come to the branch and meet the patrons. And as I'd mentioned to or alluded to before, the moms bringing their kids. It was just really a heartwarming event that she put on, and she put it on very, very well. Any other comments? Let's go to new business and the public hearing.
In accordance with state law, the library needs to hold a public hearing on the upcoming budget that we presented to the board at special session a week ago. And so the memo that we've prepared and the announcement are pretty much in line with what you've seen in prior years. One change this year is that we're recommending that the public hearing be held at Woodneath, I believe. Yeah, Woodneath, which would be a little different. It was held at the North Independence branch last year, so that would be the only change. But we've got the notice here, and it's on board docs for your review as well. This is the next step in the budget process is you all authorizing a public hearing to take place. The public hearing is currently scheduled for 10 a.m. on Tuesday, June 4th at Woodmeath.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, comments?
So are you entertaining a motion to?
Yeah, we have questions first. Yeah.
That was my question, so that's the next step.
I was wondering if any questions, sure. Okay, is there a motion to establish a hearing for public input on the 2024 proposed levy rate for the fiscal year 2024-2025 proposed budget on June 4th, 2024, 10 a.m. at the Woodneath Library Center Auditorium? Do you move?
I'm so moved.
Okay, you have a second?
Second.
And now discussion. Okay, Teresa.
Trustee Burgo. Aye. Trustee Cook.
Yes.
Trustee Gregg.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Lazio.
Yes.
Trustee Lemunion.
Yes.
Trustee Pandolfi.
Aye.
Trustee Step.
Aye.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Wheezy.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Wykoff.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Announcements.
On May 23rd, we have the Library Lovers Special East Independence Branch Preview, which will be led by Diana. That'll be quite nice. The library is closed on Memorial Day, the 29th. We'll have a similar event in Riverside where library lovers get a sneak preview of that branch. June 4th, as Jeremy said, we'll be having our public hearing at the Woodneath Auditorium. Our grand opening for East Independence is on June 7th. And grand opening for Riverside, which will be our last branch, is going to be on June 14th. And June 16th is the director's birthday. And in case you all forgot, that's not on here.
It's not on there.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. But more importantly, June 19th, the library will be closed in celebration of Juneteenth. We will, however, be working on that day. Many of you went on to the Reading Rocket, and that team will be working an event in celebration of Juneteenth on that day. So we're appreciative for their hard work, and we're happy that we have a new vehicle to share with the public. Lastly, again, we have the ALA Annual Conference, and that's June 27th through July 2nd. And that's all the announcements that I have.
Okay, any questions? All right, our next matter involves a closed session, so.
Trustees' comments.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, trustees' comments. Comments? I guess not. The next matter is that we recess our open meeting and reconvene in a closed session, so maybe we have a motion for that.
I move.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? Okay, Teresa, please.
Trustee Burgo. Aye. Trustee Cook.
Yes.
Trustee Gregg.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lazio.
Yes.
Trustee Lemunion.
Yes.
Trustee Pandolfi.
Aye.
Trustee Step.
Aye.
Trustee Davis.
Yes.
Trustee Wheezy.
Is this for going into closed session?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sally. Yes. For you. Trustee Wilson, Trustee Weiss, is that a yes or a no?
I'm sorry, I can't understand you. Can you say it again?
Is your vote a yes or a no to go into closed session?
Yes, I would go into closed session, yes.
Thank you. Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Wykoff, Cody, is trustee Whitehouse still on the call?
No, she is not.
Okay, motion carries.